All right, we're live now, man. We're live, and I'm extremely excited. With all of the kinks, with all of the bugs, we were still able to get a hold of Mr. Taylor, and I'm just excited to spend some time with us and really go over some of the details of his business. You know, this is one of the guys, if you're not following this young man, you got to follow him. Not only has he been successful, as we'll speak about in other business efforts and previous work experience. We'll talk about all that. But one of the things that I truly love, which is what made me actually reach out to Mr. Taylor, is that, you know, he is walking the talk. He's walking the talk. He is a litmus test of what this industry can do for individuals that are serious about creating their success. Question: how would it feel being able to walk away from your current place of employment and under, get this, not 40 years, not 30 years, but 20 months, team. Not only that, but then turn around and bring the wife home to where they're both working. Listen, I don't know about you, but if that is a situation that you love to experience, if that is a situation that you would love to be your current situation, then take note, because we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dennis Taylor. Mr. Taylor, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate those kind words, man. And I just say, you know, nothing happens overnight. There was a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. And, man, you know, we just stuck to the process and we made it happen. We didn't take no as an answer. We just made it happen for sure. So I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, JT. I'm looking forward to being on here. Looking forward to dropping some nuggets, teaching some people how to make things happen in their business right now.
I tell you what, guys, listen. I tell you what, I got my pad. Boom. So if you see me veering off, guys, it's because I'm a student of the game, and I'm excited to be spending some time here with Mr. Taylor. So let's dive right into it, man. If you can. Where did it start? You're living the dream now, and you're building successful organizations throughout the country. But where did it start? Where did it start for you?
So back in 2013, it was September, and my wife was, you know, she came and let me know that we were having a baby. She popped the pregnancy test and said, "Hey, we're having a kid." And I was a teacher, and it freaked me out because I know what she wanted. She wanted to come home from her job, and she wanted to raise, you know, our baby. But that's not possible as a teacher. And so started looking around, started looking for online businesses, and we really couldn't find anything that was legit. We're on Craigslist. We were looking at doing mail outs, doing work from home things, and nothing was real. So we quit looking, and then my mom just brought a product to us, let us look at it, and she didn't know at the time that it was a network marketing company. She just was like, "This is a great product. Y'all should take it." Once we found out it was a company, we took a look at it. Come to find out that my college roommate and his wife were already in the company, and they were ambassadors, and they never even approached us. They never talked to us. I lived with that man for 5 years, and they never, ever reached out to us. So we joined, but not under them. We joined under another ambassador, and I knew that if they could do it, that we could do it. And so we came in, we rocked and rolled. We signed up about 20 people in 40 days, and I think we made about $5,000 in 60 days. And at that point, I knew we could do this. This is the first time we've ever done this, and I knew that we could have success doing this. About 6 months after we started, I brought Bianca home full time. I think September of 2014, I think when it was, and she's been home since then. And when I brought her home, I said, "Okay, I'm next." And so I went to work, got on the grind, and 20 months later, I fired my boss. I retired, and everyone was freaked out. They're like, "What do you mean you're retiring?" I said, "Well, I'm done. I'm not working for anybody ever again. Work for myself." So that's kind of how it started, and a lot of learning because I've never done this before. So definitely, you know, submerged myself into deep learning every single day, and just got committed to the process. Fell in love with the process of network marketing. So
Nice. So okay. So there's like in that piece alone, like if we left from the blab right now, and that piece alone, so many nuggets. I want to touch real quick, though. Take a step back. Like, what was it that really made you change? Like, you know, you figured you was an educator. I believe it's a high school, elementary. You can talk about that. But you was an educator. You were an educator. You are an educator. And you know, we know that unfortunately, teachers and educators, you know, they are some of the just worst compensated based off of what they provide. I mean, you guys usher in a group.
Sure.
steadily teaching and train. Without you guys, there is no progression. And so you would think you guys would be compensated more, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So what was it that kind of like made you change? I know you said your wife was pregnant, but like, what made you kind of like? Because it seems like, to me, to the individuals that catch the replay, they may have thought, well, the wife is pregnant, so instead of walking away from the job, I will go harder. Let me find more overtime hours. Let me find a different position. But what made you change?
Well, I considered that. My brother is, and my whole family's in the oil industry, oil and gas industry, and I was actually an oil and gas accountant. I left a very well-paying accounting job about 3 years before we got pregnant, and I just said I didn't want to do the corporate job. I didn't like it. I wanted to help and reach young people, and so I left a lot of money on the table annually to do that. And so I considered not going back to accounting, but to actually go into the field, onto the, like the oil derricks, and go work as on the rigs, because they make, $200,000 plus a year, but you're never home. And I just said, I can't do that. That wasn't an option for us. And so I knew that people were doing well in home businesses. I knew that. I'd always kind of been an entrepreneur on the side. When I was in college, I had a lawn mowing company that I had 3 people working for me. They mowed all the lawns. I did all the marketing, and I collected all the money and paid them a salary, paid them a wage every day. And I used that money to fund me through college. So I knew I could build a business. I just didn't know what a vehicle would be. And I didn't find the right one until I saw our current company. And I guess what switched in me was I was literally tired of trading time for money. I wanted to find something where I could leverage myself, kind of like I did in college. And so that's when we found our company. And I got attracted to the stories. I got attracted to the stories of people having success. And I thought, you know what? I've always been in the top 10% of everything I've done. There's going to be nothing different about this. I just got to get to work.
Wow. Love it. So you had opportunities around you, but you would figure you are an entrepreneur at heart. You definitely proved successful with your entrepreneur endeavor in college. Kudos to you for that too.
Thank you.
That's incredible. So now you figure, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go to another job. All right. You walked away from the position that you could have taken advantage of prior to. And so now you've made up your mind. Change is what I'm going to do. I'm open to the idea. We're looking for the right vehicle. But if you could, describe that process of the change. Like, you know what I mean? Like what were the feelings that you had as you decided and went through that process?
So I think what I would talk about is we had got into the company, and almost immediately after we got into the company, they had an event, and we had just had Denny Ray, and he was 3 weeks old. And I just told Bianca, I said, you know what? They're telling us that leaders are born at events, that big builders always go to events. I said, we can make an excuse and say, well, we got a 3-week-old and not go, or we can just go and see what it's all about and see if we like the culture. So we did. We drove to Houston, about 5 hours from our house, with the 3-week-old, with 2 dogs in the back, stayed at a hotel downtown Houston that only had 1 entrance and 1 exit with those dogs. So we're taking them down the elevator, taking them out to go to the bathroom, putting them up in there with the baby, walking to the event. And I was sitting in the back of the event with Denny, and I was holding him, and my mentor was on stage, and he just said, if you want more, you have to become more. And his whole section was on personal development. And he said, the biggest leader in my business, I told him on his first paycheck that he made in Zervita to go buy the Jim Rohn Success Library. And I heard that, and I thought, okay, I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to ask him about that. And after the event, I called him. I said, where do I get that library? He said, well, it's about $400-something. I said, I don't care. I'll take it as a Christmas present from my wife. I said, where do I get it at? I got it, and I literally plugged that in my car every single day for a year and a half, and on my drive to work and my drive home. And that's what changed for me, because I started understanding that it's not gimmicks, it's not tricks, it's you changing, and it's you actually becoming more valuable. And the more valuable you become, the more money you'll make, because you can solve problems, right? And so, man, I have it all. I have it all behind me here. I got, just audio after audio that I don't know. I have what I tell people, I've got a PhD in personal development within the last 2 years, because I've literally put that much content into me that when I talk to people, it comes out. And so that's what changed for me, is when I started going through that process, people started responding differently to me. I looked at life different. I felt better about myself. I had more abilities. And so when I was interacting with them, they just started kind of being gravitating to my leadership. And so I said, well, I got to get deeper into this. And I just went deeper. I got real fanatical about it every day, all day. I mean, not all day, but if I'm driving, if I'm cooking, if I'm in the shower, if I'm working out, it's all personal development. And I did that for a year and a half. I still do it to this day. I'll never change it. And because I know that I'm the best investment. So I'm just going to invest in myself.
Awesome. You know, I'm reminded of the book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of investing time, whatever craft that you're looking to pursue and become a master in. And the idea that general consensus about 10,000 hours it will take to become a master. But the funny thing about that is when you have an individual, and in your story we hear it, such as yourself, you don't have to invest 10,000 hours, but you have to be willing to put in that work. And It sounds like every opportunity to invest in yourself. I want to stop there for a moment. I want to touch on that. So you mean to tell me that in this network marketing deal that you actually have to put in work?
A lot of work.
Okay. All right. So this isn't one of those get three, and it's off to the beaches for you. That has
no. Man, Jeremy, I don't know how many times I've had to rebuild my team and my organization. I brought people in and they quit, brought people in and they quit, brought people in and they quit. And what I've seen is you're going to bring some people in and the majority, a lot of them are going to leave or are going to just turn into customers. And so it's like every year you got to bring in the new class. You got to bring in new people. You can't just sit and go to the beach and just, I'm going to get rich because I brought in a person. You have to go find a lot of people, and you got to continually do it because some people aren't going to be driven like you. Some people aren't going to go for that empire that I'm building. I'm building an empire. And so some people don't want that, and that's totally fine. 100% fine. I'm good with them. If they're happy where they're at, totally cool. I want an empire because I want the freedom to do what I want. So you have to put in a lot of work on yourself. You got to put a lot of work on your craft, and you got to become a master. I always say become a master of at least two things in this industry. One is you got to become a master at inviting people to take a look at your opportunity. And then you got to become a master at presenting. If you can at least become two of that, you'll be sufficient enough to continually recruit people. Now, if you get really good at closing, you get really good at team building, you get really good at, events, then you're talking mega success in this industry.
So tell me, so those are the two. So presenting the opportunity and inviting it to the areas where definitely can you say you can create some consistency until you grow and develop. First of all, it sounds like with the personal development, and you invested so heavily in your personal development, it almost sounds like your network marketing company is a personal development tool with a compensation plan attached. It seems like
absolutely,
but it was the investment in your personal development. And then when we talk about building teams, and we can definitely navigate there. I'm glad you brought that up. When we talk about building organizations, because I know that, especially for the sake of time, I don't know how much time you have left. But I do know that one of the things that I know that you are great at and definitely a leader in is being able to take advantage of the social media, take advantage of the online space. I know you can talk more about it, of course. I know you have in the works coaching programs, Craigslist programs, different things to build the business. If you can, what has been or what is your idea on using social media to build your business? And number one, and then the second question, I guess this is a two-parter, is it possible to totally eliminate the quote-unquote old school way of marketing and building your business and being able to take advantage of the social media different channels like you have yourself personally?
All right, cool. So my first answer on that is with the social media. So we build our business around two things. Our team is events, tools and events. So there's a lot of different tools. Your company gives you good, videos, resources, magazines. They give you great tools. One tool I think is being overlooked right now, and I think more and more people are becoming aware of it, social media. Social media, just the sheer size of numbers of people on social media, there's an endless supply of prospects that you can put on your active candidate list every single day. So that's why I focus on social media. And I teach and train people how to use social media, how to use Facebook correctly. I'm big on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Periscope. Me and Jeremy, we're talking yesterday about live streaming, and I really like the live streaming. I really feel like if you will position yourself as do consistent live streams, you're going to get people attracted to you because you're like a forerunner of what's going to be. They said in like 5 years, Facebook will be about 100% videos in the news stream. And so if you're on the front of that curve, then you're going to have people coming to you. That's it. That's just what happens. Second part of that question, can you build a business with only social media and not old school offline homework? You can't. You have to mingle. You have to co-mingle, and you have to kind of almost like a hybrid model to take the social media tool that it is, connect with your lead, generate a lead, connect with your lead, determine their need, connect with them, take them offline, talk to them, build a relationship, and then start plugging them into offline stuff as home parties, one-on-one meetings, weekly presentations, events. That's one thing I'm big at. Events changed my life. I go to every single event there is.
Hold on.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Back. Dude, I told you I got my pad out there. Listen to it. I got my pad out. I'm taking notes. You said, and that's awesome. You said the process was you generate a lead.
Yeah. Connect with the lead. Determine the need.
Determine the need. Okay.
Yeah. So you generate a lead, you connect with them, and then you determine the need, because some people aren't going to want your opportunity, and that's totally cool, right? But how can you help them? That's why I've developed the coaching programs. That's why I've developed, some products around generating leads online, helping people build their business. Because I had people who connect with me that have actual physical buildings and businesses. They're not interested in network marketing, and I'm not going to try to push them in my business, because if I do that, they're not going to join, right? And so I'm going to determine what their need is, and then I'm going to give them what I think they need. And so that's what I use in my business, because I'm all about generating a lead, connecting with them, building relationships, and then determining what their needs are. If you meet people's needs, then you're going to have more success in your business, and you're going to make a lot more money. That's for sure.
Wow. So your approach, you're telling me, the individuals that watch this, especially on the replay, although you're building a business, the idea in your business is not to sign up as many people as you can, sell product. You're actually connect with individuals, and in that connecting, then determining that what you have for them is a good fit in the first place.
Oh yeah, I literally turn down people for my opportunity. I don't want everybody in my company, for sure. I make sure that the people that I'm going to bring frontline to me are people that I want to work with and I want to spend time with. That's the biggest mistake I made at the beginning, is I was recruiting anybody that had a pulse. And if they would come in my business, that just took away from my energy. They just talked and didn't do anything. And it just wore me out, because it's like I had a babysitting company, and I don't want that anymore. So I've got to connect with them. I've got to determine what they really need. Because a lot of people, they want money, but they don't want to put work in. And so I like to control all the conversations about my company. And I literally do not share what I'm doing unless I feel they're a fit, because I honestly don't want to bring people that I would not be, I couldn't put my stamp on into my opportunity. And I've had literally told people, I'm not going to show you what I'm doing. And they're like, whoa, that's different posture. And I had them come back to me like a week or two later and was like, hey man, I thought about our conversation. I'd like to look at what you're doing. I thought about what the things you said about how I wasn't open and I was a little kind of negative, and maybe that's what I need help on. So I just have a different posture, because I'm not looking for everybody, man. I'm just looking for the right people.
Wow. Love it. So, okay. So we're looking for the right people. What do you say to the individual, though, now that doesn't have a large list, or doesn't have the ability to generate leads at the push of a button like yourself? They only have their little list, or they believe they don't have a list, or in worst cases, they don't have a list at all, quote unquote. How would one take that same posture as you and creating that same success if they don't have your skill set or the large list?
Well, what I would suggest is use Facebook. I've got a resource on my website. You can go check it out. It's my blueprint on how to use Facebook. But what I would tell people is make sure you're branding yourself and not your company. Because if you got your company plastered all over your Facebook account, if you do go approach somebody, they're going to just literally look at your company. They're going to go Google it and find a review that's not positive. And then they're going to be turned off rather than looking and talking to you. So clean up your Facebook and make sure that it's professional. Then one quick way to really start building an active candidate list is what I do is I follow the influencers. I find the people in whatever industry I'm in, the home business. So I follow Robert Kiyosaki's page, Tony Robbins fan page, Ray Higgins fan page, Bob Proctor's fan page, The Secrets fan page, those type of stuff with positive people. And then I'll go and look at all the comments on there, and I'll see who is writing good comments, and I'll just literally send direct messages and be like, man, I appreciate what you said. I totally relate. What do you do? And I just start doing conversations, and I try to do about 10 of those a day. And over the course of a month, that's 300 a month. That's over 3,000 a year. You'll build some relationships, you'll build your following, and you'll start adding to your list without a doubt. That's an easy way if you don't have people on your list. But here's the thing. When you shoot them a direct message, before they respond, they're going to go look at your profile. So if your profile is not cleaned up and it's not good and not warm and inviting, they're not going to talk to you back. Or if they will, they're not going to be open to your opportunity. And if you have a link to your opportunity in your Facebook deal, they're going to click it, they're going to watch it, and you're never going to hear from them again. So I had to learn that the hard way. And now I know that literally nobody listens to my presentation opportunity without me talking to them before they watch it. Because I do a 3-step setup, and I set it up, put them in a good positive mindset, and then I let them watch it. So I kind of control that better.
Is there a way for you now? This is what you do personally. Is this what you teach to your teammates as well, or how does that work?
Yeah, I have that in my team training. This is what I teach. I teach because you can go out all day and go to like Starbucks and to the mall or whatever. You're not gonna. It's gonna be hard to get 10, 20 people a day, but you can do 10 people on Facebook. You can do tons of people on Instagram. You can search hashtags on Instagram. You can search hashtags on Twitter, and you can just send direct messages. Now, I'm not saying send the messages with links. Just connect with people. That's it. Just connect with them and build a relationship. Hey, man, I like what you put, man. I appreciate you. Thanks. What is your idea on this? Or what do you do? Or how are you using Twitter? Are you using it personal or business? Or how are you using Instagram? Are you using it for personal or business? But you can literally have 30 to 40 people you can reach out to every single day between those 3 platforms.
Wow. So again, going back to generating the lead, connecting. So this would be number 2 of the process, actually connecting with that lead. Connecting with that lead. Now we're able to determine what it needs. Nice. Love it.
One other thing that I'll do, if I've built a little bit of a relationship with them, I'll say, hey, I'm going to ask you a question, and I just would like to see if you're interested at all. Do you keep your options open to making money? Or, I've got a new project. I do not do this the first message. This might be 5, 6, 8, 10 messages down the road. And I just say, hey, I always say, when I talk with people, I always say, hey, this may be for you or this may not be for you. But if you do see it like we do, we can make some money together. And so I just say, are you open to taking a look at it? And a lot of them will be like, yeah. I'll be like, all right, what's your number so I can get you the information? Let's have a quick talk. Then I go through my process, and that's what I do, man.
Wow. And so what do you say to the individual that tells you, you know what, I want this. I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean? How can I have these conversations? I don't know what to say, or if I'll get rejected, or if I'll get handle objection. Like I don't know what to say. What do you say to that rep?
Man, I just tell them a story. I typically answer questions with stories, and so I just tell them my story. When we started with our company, I had never done a job where I called a lot of people ever. So we did a booth table at a fair, which I don't do that anymore because it's not as productive as people make it sound like. But we generated a lot of leads off of it. And I remember I connected with these people at the fair, and we got back to the house, and I was going to start calling them to follow up. And I clammed up, man. My hands were sweaty. I was on the ground all nervous, and Bianca was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I said, what if they reject me? I literally froze up, and and she just said, hey, you need to get your big boy pants on and make those calls. Well, I never called them. And then it stuck with me for about a month in my head. And I said, you know what? I got to get over that fear. So what I did is I started buying leads online, and they were cold leads. I'm talking the coldest. You call them, and they're like, what? You're not the first person that called them, right? And they're what are you selling? If it costs money, I'm not joining. And you do enough of those, you don't have any more fear to talk to anybody. So I don't know. I went from I got to a point where I was dialing 50 numbers a day off of that. And after a while, you don't have a problem. After a few days of dialing 20 people a day, you're pretty good at it. So I just say, if you have a fear of it, don't hide from it. You got to blast through that thing and just push through and kind of blast through that wall, because really, my coach that I coach basketball with in the summer league, he always would say this to our boys, and I always say it to this day. To first become great, to become great, you must first become uncomfortable. And so there's a reason why it's uncomfortable to make those phone calls, is because it's going to stretch you and it's going to make you become greater than you are. So you just got to get through that. You got to put in your licks, and you got to just get that experience. Because I tell this to my team a lot. I said, well, how many people are you having join? How many people are you talking to? Where are you at? And then when they tell me all that, I said, okay, here's why your business isn't growing, because you're not telling your story enough. You're not telling the story enough. You're not sharing the opportunity enough. The only way to do that is, like what we were talking about yesterday, was to compress those time frames. Instead of talking to 20 people a month, maybe you get some leads, or maybe get better at doing marketing, or maybe do those social media things I said, and compress time frames to where maybe you're doing 10, 20 people a day for a straight month. That's like compressing almost 2 years in 1 month if you're only doing 20 a month. Because they always tell you 2 people a day. I don't subscribe to that, man. I honestly don't. I think that this is like a jet plane, and it doesn't go off. Just you gotta launch it, man. And that's what's worked for me. Every time I go through that process, I launch it, then we just stabilize.
Wow. So I guess a firm belief in that the idea of slow and steady is not an idea that you subscribe to at all in terms of success.
Well, I've had people come into business and they're like, well, I'm gonna recruit one person a month for my first year. I said, well, that's good. I said, but here's what's going to happen. You're not going to have like a fire of a team that you're plugging people in. What's better is to try to go after like 10 people your first 60, 90 days. Or if you're relaunching your business, try to get 4 or 5 people that first month. And then you've got a fire of a team. And then as you recruit new people, you push them into the fire. But if you're just slow dripping over the course of a year, out of those 12 that come in, maybe one of them is going to make it a year. Maybe 2 of them is going to make it a year. So then you recruited 2 lasting people a year, rather than if you compress time frames. That's what I feel. I just tell them, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's totally great. I don't suggest it. If you really want the freedom you talk about, let's hit this thing hard, and then we'll do the drip after that, because we're supporting an existing team who's putting in people, plus you're adding more people to that fire. So that's what I kind of teach to my team.
There's a question asked, what is your, how would an individual get in contact with you? What's your website if someone wanted to get a hold of you?
Yeah, DennisRayTaylor.com. And if you want to get a hold of me on any social media, it's Dennis Ray Taylor. Except for Facebook, it's Dennis Ray Taylor 2. That's my fan page, and I'm on there all the time. And you can get to my blog, DennisRayTaylor.com.
Okay, awesome. Dennis Ray Taylor. Okay. Now, we're going to wrap up. Next thing, here's the deal. When did you know that you were doing this deal right? Like, so we talk about the hiccups that you came across. Being uncomfortable, getting money to make the phone calls, the wife, the support system, kind of kicking your butt a little bit and letting you know, hey, yo, let's make it happen. At what point did you know? You know what? I think we've hit our stride. I believe we got this right now.
Well, I thought it was right when I started. So we got in, and like I said, we put in 20 people in 40 days. And I thought, man, your path to ambassador, 3 months, 6 figures, it's over. Almost every single one of them quit. We have a couple that are still going, and they're our builders. But we had our baby, and we kind of took about a month off to just be with our baby, and everything kind of died. And so I realized, wow, it wasn't as easy as I thought. So kind of after that, I started getting into the training in the summer and getting in the training, and it got to a point where I said, okay, I gotta find a way to get more people outside of my market, because I touched everybody in my warm market, and so I had to get cold market. And so when I started doing my Craigslist stuff, I started listening to Eric Worre talk about you're getting paid today from efforts of like 30, 60, 90 days ago. And so my first 30 days in Craigslist, nothing. I got no one in my business, and I was getting kind of defeated. After that 30 days, I put in 4 people that next month. These are strangers who never tried my product. All they did was watch the video and had a conversation with me and came in and bought the biggest pack we had. And so I thought, okay, so here's my thing. I'm not getting paid today for work today. I'm getting paid 30, 60, 90 days in the future off of work today. And so once we took that mindset to say we work this month to get paid next month, it just started kind of snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And I knew after we hit, I'd recruited about, I think 45 directs. I knew that it was going to be, this was where we're at. And I got kind of, I think October, November last year, I was teaching and we were making more money part-time, way more part-time than we were making full-time. And I just said, this is crazy. I've got to focus on my business because I can't even support everybody. I can't build the systems I need. And so that's when I decided to retire. But you got to realize this, and network marketing in any business really, but you have to realize your efforts today don't pay you until 30, 60, 90, or even further out. So if you're not making money today that you want, that's because of the work you didn't put in the last 3, 4, 5 months. So just keep your head up and go, if you want to make more money, start putting in the work and expect it to take a little bit of time. It's a gestation period. It takes a little bit of time to start working. And that's what I tell people. Just stick with the process. Don't focus as much on the result. Just fall in love with the process and you'll have results.
Love it. Fall in love with the process. So if you could go back and do anything differently,
what would it be? If I could do anything different, I wouldn't have branded my company right off the bat in social media. I would have followed Ray, honestly, earlier. I connected with Ray I got on his list about 2 months into my company or 3 months into my company. I literally didn't look at his emails for well over a year. Wow. So he sends the daily email and I didn't look at any of them for about a year. I just kept, archiving them. And I wish I wouldn't have done that because he teaches valuable stuff about how to really position yourself as a leader. And I think that I wouldn't have been a walking commercial, because that's what I'm seeing in our industry is that we have too many people that are branded with their company logo, and it's unattractive on social media because no one goes to buy there. And so you're like a walking commercial. It's like you're walking around like, who's ready to buy? Who's ready to buy? I'm going to get you. Oh, did you like my post? I'm going to call you. You going to buy my thing? You want my potion? You want my wrap? What you want? And it's just not attractive. And so, I wish I would have done that different. And I wish I would have really had a mindset to say, okay, I want to become an authority. And so the way to become an authority is to put valuable content out there. And you don't have to have a blog to do that. You can simply start shooting videos on stuff you learned. Like I was going through all this personal development and I didn't teach it. If I'd have been teaching it for the last 2 years, I'd be much further along than I am now. That's what I would tell people. Teach what you learn through videos. Simple 2-minute, 3-minute videos. You don't have to be an expert. Just deliver value.
Wow. I love it. I think Ray calls that right? Invest, learn, then teach what it is. Awesome. Wow. So when to bring our company, with the scale of time that we have, we can't go into it in depth. Really quickly, if we had to give away our 2, let's call it 3, man. Let's call it 3. Why not? Let's give it to them. If we had to give away our 3 golden nuggets, like meaning if nothing else, you've got anything else, you haven't got anything else from this interview from the Blab, what would be 3 key takeaways that hands down you would tell your mom to do in terms of creating success in the industry?
The first thing is you have to control your energy before you ever talk to a prospect again. That's the first thing so I've got a little trampoline over here, and every time before I talk to somebody, I jump on that trampoline a little bit to get my blood going. I want to make sure that I'm in a good energy and I have bringing good vibrations out so that I'm attractive. And it gets me kind of awake. You cannot recruit people if you're dead, hey, do you want to do my deal? Because I've been that person. I've been like, hey, please join. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for half of it. Just join. But I've noticed that when I increase my energy before I talk to prospects, they're attracted to it. And I've had literally prospects tell me, man, I don't know what it is, but I'm attracted to your energy. That's the first thing. So before you get on a call with somebody, put on some good music, get in like a pump state. If you got to jump around, if you got to scream, if you got to dance, whatever it is, do that. That'll help recruit, hands down. because what it does is it calms your nerves. Every good speaker before they go on stage, they do that. They're loosening. Boxers do it when they loosen up. It calms you down. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say, get into books every single day. There's always a reason I shoot right in front of this, because these books changed my life. I've talked about this plenty of times. This book shifted me, and it's not a book I read. It's a book I study. It's a book I'm always into. This book, if you continually read it over and over and over and over and over and study it and study it and study it, it'll in a sense, it'll brainwash you, because it's going to wash your brain out of all that crap that's in it from TV, commercials, just negative stuff that people have told you. It's going to actually show you how to think positive and change your life. So first thing would be to control your energy. The second thing would be to read good books. And I think the third thing would probably be don't compare yourself to other people. Seriously, like I've looked. I think the first year in network marketing in my company, I kept telling myself, why am I not an ambassador like these other people? Why am I not a top earner like these other people? And that's totally the wrong mindset to have, because honestly, you don't know their journey. You don't know how many people were in their network before they started. You don't know anything about their backstory, because no one tells everything. I mean, you don't know if they've got thousands of people. They don't know if they've been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years. You don't know anything like that. All you know is every day be better than you were the day before. Right? You got to be better than you were the day before. And so focus on the process, fall in love with the process. Don't focus as much on the result to where you hinge your emotions on whether, people are ranking up beside you or people are hitting the top rank. It doesn't matter. They're not in your business. You're a business owner. Your journey is your journey. And so once you let go of that type of stuff, there's actually more freedom and more peace in your heart, where you actually can go build something, because you're not looking way in the future. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, I'm doing this. That's what's helped me the most, Jeremy. So
wow. It's so interesting, man, because at the end of the day, a lot of times when we make those comparisons, we compare ourselves to other individuals, we find that we're comparing our worst self to their best. And
yeah, I know, right?
Not a fair comparison. So it's like, wow. So, okay, so we got number one, the state. Number one, getting in the right state before you pick up the phone. I love that. I can't say.
It helps. It helps so much.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever heard it like that, but I love it. It makes so much sense. Like, get in the right state of mind. I know Anthony Robbins talks about being in a mental state a lot of times, and that transfers of energy. So it makes so much sense. So number one, make sure that you are in the proper state before you go out and try to talk to somebody about your business.
Can I add one thing to that?
Sure.
So I keep a mirror on my desk. So when I'm talking to people, I smile. That's another thing. And so when you smile, what it does is it puts out, it's like your posture, and it's like your, just your energy. So I learned that from my mentor. He has two things. He has a mirror and a timer. And so the timer is set to 5 minutes. He won't talk to a new prospect longer than 5 minutes. And then he's got a mirror to remind himself to smile when he's on the phone, because it'll put good energy through. So that's another thing on the energy in the state.
Wow. So we got to get the energy going, right?
Yep.
We got to get the energy going. And then in order to sustain the energy and keep it on our mind, the mirror, boom, to let us know, hey, make sure to smile. It resonates through the phone. I truly believe that individuals can tell when you're smiling, even if they don't see you, just in your tonality.
I agree.
Wow. And I love that so much, because you literally are not only are you conscientious of it, but you are intentional. You're very intentional with putting yourself in that proper mind state, changing your physical
every time
to make sure that it supports that mental mind state. Love it. It isn't an excuse. I'm not feeling good today, or something happened today. It's let's get into it. Let's make it happen, even if we have to change our physical dynamic to support that idea. Love it. So that's number one. Number two, again, going back to the importance of the personal development. The personal development, again, we're being extremely intentional with what it is that we feed our minds, right? Value in, value out. So we have to make sure that we're giving ourselves the proper content, and it'll come across genuine. It'll come across
right
as we have it to share. And, I find it interesting because I'm looking at a few books here. We have Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Effective People, Love, Think and Grow Rich. hands down. We shared yesterday, Uncle G, the 10X Rule, Grant Cardone, Building an Empire. I think one of the better books to get your hands on as well for the newbies in the game is Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, right? So we're intentional. And what you'll find is as you surround yourself with these books, with the information like you did and the investment on your personal development, it really becomes you. Like
right.
That on and the conversations, your vocabulary, your moods, your ideas, your mind expands. And it really does help you in recruiting because, again, value in, value out. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Wow, wow, wow. And then the third thing, just the final last, the third thing, recapping again, we said was the process, right? Making sure that we fall in love with the process. We don't compare ourselves to other individuals. I love, love, love the idea of becoming better today than
right.
yesterday. And so if that's our focus now becomes on self-improvement. Our focus becomes on, it's now on we becoming better. Now, like you said, it creates that freedom. You're no longer in competition with anyone. If they succeed, amazing. If they don't succeed, again, it doesn't affect you either way. And it really puts you in a position of control, right? We can't control what happens around us. We can control, however, how we respond to it. And in us being in control, we can, in fact, control getting ourselves in a positive state. We can, in fact, control what it is that we feed our minds with. And so it gives you, like I said, that posture of control. Does give you a sense of, just in thinking about it myself, it's like, yeah, you know what? I got this. We're good to go here. And so awesome. Love it, man. Love it, man. So again, real quick, how can an individual find you? Oh, and I see in the Dennis article. Okay, got it. One of the quickest ways to get a hold of you, man.
Absolutely.
Brother, what do we have coming down the pipeline? What do we have to expect from Mr. Taylor coming in the near future?
Oh man, we got a lot of stuff. So I work directly with Ray, and we're working on a complete. What I would do if I was starting this thing all over from scratch. That's probably going to be about a month or two out, and it's going to be something that I'm going to teach my team, and we're going to test it and with them. But at the same time, it's kind of what I'm teaching my coaching students. So that's kind of coming in the pipeline, and you're going to see a lot of big things. When you start working with Ray, he kind of stretches you, right? And so, kind of stretching me to be better and kind of figure out how can I add more value. So just get on my email list so you can see kind of what's coming down the line. And I've got my secret 7-step blueprint to dominate social media marketing. And it's what I would use if I was starting over for sure for social media.
Sweet. Love it. Hey, man, well, listen, man, Taylor, Mr. Taylor himself, man, 20 months to the financial freedom. I'm excited. We definitely got to do this again, man. And
I'll do it, man. I love it.
I'm actually just want to thank you again for spending some time with us and even dealing with some of the technical difficulties. As we know, you're a busy guy. We appreciate it, man. And listen, I look forward to connecting with you. And listen, guys, be on pace. I want you guys to be on pace. Keep your eyes in tune for the next time we do something like this. I'm extremely excited, brother. So with that, man, we're going to let you go, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Jeremy. I appreciate you, all the stuff you're putting out, and I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Listen, have a phenomenal day, sir.
All right.